Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on June the 3rd, 2020. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, especially through these volatile times, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So coming up here in the Asian session, we have GDP quarterly numbers here. If the numbers come in actually in line with expectations here, I think it would be okay. If the numbers are below expectations, I don't think that will really make much of a difference in terms of what happens with Australian dollar. Right now, the market is in risk on mode. So with the stock markets going up, Australian dollar is well supported, and that is likely to stay. And especially even with the Bank of Australia yesterday, they essentially came out and said that the damage that that will be caused by COVID-19 is actually not as bad as they had initially thought. So the economy is likely to recover quicker than what they had anticipated in the beginning, which is of course a positive thing for Australian dollar, and we have seen Australian dollar go up. So with the GDP numbers, as long as they are somewhere close to what this number is, we are likely to see Australian dollar go up further. And then coming up on Wednesday here, we have PMI numbers out of the Eurozone here. At this point, we are, of course, expecting the PMI numbers to go up as the economies open up. The purchasing managers are buying more stuff, which makes these numbers positive. So I would expect the numbers to either match or be even more, even higher than what's expected here. And then we also have services PMI numbers from UK here. Again, they're expected. I would expect them to be at least in line with expectation, if not better. Now we do have G7 meetings starting here. Now with this one, the only thing will be we just need to watch any kind of comments that come out of it. So other than that, everything's been said and done. We have heard from different central banks and so forth. So I'm not expecting too much of a change, but anytime there are leaders gathered together, they're going to be journalists, and they like to ask questions. The comments can make a difference. So pay attention to that. We do have ADP non-farm employment numbers here. This is pretty big, actually. We have 9.5 million layoffs that they are looking at for US, for ADP here. Now, in this case, if the number is as big as what we see here, that will be negative for the US dollar. If the number is positive, like it's not as bad as what is expected here, it will still be negative for US, because positive, a better than expected number here, let's say we only have 8 million layoffs. In that case, the stock market will go up, Wall Street will go up, because they will think, oh, we are supposed to, economy will recover quicker than expected. So that will be positive for the Wall Street. So with all the risk on mode, we are likely to see the US dollar drop. But any negative number here is likely to just have a negative impact on the currency. So all in all, it's pretty much a lose-lose situation for US dollar, unless the risk on mode changes and all of a sudden investors do not want to invest in the Wall Street. Only then we're likely to see US dollar go up at this point. Now we do have Bank of Canada rate statement. With Australia, and even Fed essentially said that they expect the economy to recover faster than what they had initially thought. So with that in mind, and then Reserve Bank of Australia came in and said the same thing yesterday, that they don't expect the problems to be as bad as they had initially thought. So if Bank of Canada says that, we are likely to see Canadian dollar go up, which means we could see dollar CAD drop. And the only reason I would see Canadian dollar drop as a result of Bank of Canada statement would be if they express concerns in regards to the economic recovery for Canada. And the reason they may do that would be to do with oil prices. So if they talk about oil prices staying low for extended period of time, that will be a negative for Canadian dollar. And if they talk about the impact that it may have on the economy, that could lead to negativity or weakness of Canadian dollar. But other than that, again, everything's been said and done at this point. So we'll see how this plays out. But I am fairly neutral as a result of this one here. And then we have trade balance numbers out of Australia. They are, I would expect them to either be in line with expectations or better than expected. So overall, that will be positive for Australian dollar. And in terms of the markets are very much in a risk on mode right now. So investors are willing to invest in the market. And as such, there is a lot of optimism in the market, and that is good for the risk currencies, which means all our dollar crosses are likely to go up, and same applies to our yen crosses. I would expect them to go up as well if the risk on mode continues. So at this point, market is ignoring all the negatives at this point, which means all the rights that are going on in Hong Kong as well as in the US market is just ignoring them and just staying with the positive news, or they're just sticking with the optimism. And as a result, we are seeing all the stock markets going up, including the US, in spite of there being curfews in different cities in the US, as well as riots in different cities, which are causing property damage. So right now, it's all about the different economies opening up, and the market is happy about that. And another thing that is positive is we haven't really seen an increase in the number of cases, which is again a plus with the economies opening up. So so what the markets are thinking is it's not as bad as what was initially thought of. So, okay, so let's start off with we'll start taking a look at our charts with Euro US dollar here. So today we did see that price actually went through the resistance level here, and we are already into the first target here. So bias is bullish now that we are past this resistance level here. So in this case, bullish bias, I will look for a bit of a pullback here, and then a further move to the upside here, and pull back potentially into 1.1150. And in this case, the first target will be the high of today, which is actually, let's just pull this up, almost into 1.1200. And then the next target is 1.1240 here, and then 1.1280. So bias here is bullish for euro dollar at this point. Next one here, pound dollar. This one as well went through this resistance level. We do have a bullish candle close here. So bias is bullish. And in this case, I would look for a further move to the upside. And in terms of a pullback, we could get a pullback into 1.2520 or 1.2535 level. So bullish bias for now. And next target here is 1.2650. So bias is bullish for our British pound here. Next one, we have Aussie dollar here. This one, again, looking very, very bullish. We have had basically one-way trade here. So this is bullish as well. I would look for potential pullback into 0.6860. Right now, prices into the highs, and we may see a breakout here. So the next target here is 0.6920. And then above that, we are looking at 0.6980. So bullish bias here for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar here, this one also looking very bullish. It has gone through our first target here and still looking bullish. Next target here is 0.6420 and then 0.6450. So bias is bullish still. And should it go through that, we could see a continuation all the way into 0.6500. So bias here is bullish for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here, bearish bias here. Price has gone through the support level. I will look for a continuation move to the downside here. And in terms of our target, first target is 1.3465 or even 1.3440, around that level. And then we're looking at 1.3380. So bias here is bullish for dollar CAD. And then we have silver. Silver is neutral at this point. There is a bit of a bearish bias here, but it has to break out of this support level for us to see which direction this one wants to move in. At this point, it hasn't exactly established the trend here. We could see it drop a little bit further, and from there it could go up. For now though, I am neutral, so we may see one of these or one of these here. So we will just see how this one plays out. Neutral bias for now though. We have to see a break, and then we'll have to see which direction this wants to continue. It's interesting now, we are seeing this move in the opposite direction of the stock market at this point. Normally, normally we have been seeing this kind of move in with the same direction as the stock market, and now today we haven't. So we'll have to see which direction it wants to align into. Does it want to go back into the positive correlation with the stock market or not? And then gold here, gold has also dropped. Gold is actually looking bearish. Now it prices into support, so we do need to keep an eye on it, because if it doesn't break through this support level, it can go back up again. It is looking bearish at the moment though. So next target here is 1712, and then below that 1700. So bias is bearish here for gold. Oil is looking bullish here. It's continuing its upward trend. Next target is 39.50. So this is another reason Canadian dollar has been doing strong, because oil is recovering, and oil is recovering because of the potential increase in demand that will come from the opening up of different economies. So all in all, with the risk on mode, we are also seeing oil go up and Canadian dollar because of that. So bullish bias here for oil. Copper is also looking strong. We did see that price broke through the resistance here. Next target is 2.49. So bullish bias here for copper as well. Bitcoin here. Bitcoin has been interesting. We have seen price go in both directions. It did go through this previous resistance. It did go through this resistance to go to the next one here, but then we have seen a drop. At this point, it is looking neutral. I will look for another move toward 91.50, and if it holds above, we could see it go higher. So for now, I am neutral. We may see something like this. So neutral bias here for Bitcoin. S&P 500 still looking bullish. It's pushing higher. 3120 is the next target. And then above that, we are back into 3180. So bias is bullish for S&P 500. Nasdaq here. Nasdaq is almost into all-time highs. So it's as if we never had a problem, and the different economies were never shut down at this point. It's with all the free money going into the market here, stock markets are having a field day. So next target here is 97.50. So bullish bias here for Nasdaq. Dow Jones here, this one also looking very, very bullish right now. First target, of course, is the high of this candle here, 25,850. Above that, we are looking at 26,300, 320. So bullish bias here for, Dow Jones here. And then DAX also looking very bullish. Next target is 12,250. So right now, everything is on risk on mode. And then FTSE here looking very bullish. Now it is into resistance, so we do need to see price close above the resistance for this to continue. Next target though is 6,400. So bullish bias here for FTSE as well. Nikkei here already pushing through the highs, already on the other side here. And next target here is fairly close, 22,850, and then we are into 23,000. So bias is bullish for Nikkei as well. All in all, we have seen basically risk on mode here. And right now, as things stand right now, this is again pushing into the highs, past the highs. So extremely bullish at this point. All right, so we'll wrap it up here. That's it for today. Right now, as Asia opens up, we are back into risk on mode, and this is likely to continue if the riots and everything else haven't had any, or they haven't made much of a difference in terms of what the market is feeling. I am not expecting them to make much of a difference unless something drastic happens, which I don't think is likely to happen. US government is thinking of passing another stimulus bill, so we'll see if that gets passed. That's again another thing that will add to the risk on mode, and I wonder if we would even overshoot the highs here. So that is yet to be seen. Nasdaq, of course, we are about to be into the highs. Tomorrow we're going to be into the highs. So we'll keep an eye on things. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.